All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases Saturday show, 10 a.m. Eastern. Props to the boys, to my boys, the right and the left, for hitting their 5%ers. Yesterday, Tokyo Brandon on the Rays. Bryan gets it done with the Padres. I feel like I deserve mine too. The Orioles, a 5-0 lead in the 7th inning. They blow it. That Orioles bullpen that I've been sort of saying all year, probably not going to be very good at some point. Came back to bite me in the end. That was a tough one, 6-5. But 2 of the 3 5%ers hit, and we hit another parlay. So really tough to ask for much better than that. Yankees for TB, Rangers for me. Or, I'm sorry, Yankees for Bryan, Rangers for me, and TB had the Braves. All blowout wins in the parlay. So back-to-back days where we've cashed the show parlay has put us nicely in the plus on the show parlay. So after all that, we dipped into the negative. Everyone's frustrated about it. We come out and we hit back-to-back, and we are back in business. And I hope that's what we're doing again today. Let's start things off. I'll just go right to you, Bryan. Cubs-Cardinals. We've got a nice little NL Central rivalry tonight. This one's in St. Louis. I had to double-check that. But how are you seeing Cubs-Cardinals here?
Yeah, this should be a good one. Brown's going for the Cubs. Leahy's going for St. Louis. And the Cubs right now are about a 135, 140 favorite in a total of 8. Brown's been the best pitcher for the Cubs as of late. Their ace has gotten blown up a few times lately. So, he came into this as a guy they're just trying to get some innings out of. Now he's been their most successful pitcher as of late, and I've always liked Brown. He's got great stuff. Problem is he's very inconsistent, but he's been pretty right on this year. I think he's finally to the point where they said, "Okay, this is your job. Go out and do it," and he's taking advantage of it. Where a lot of these guys just can't do it. But he's been very good. Lee, it's hard to get my mouth working this early in the morning. Leahy's been pretty good for them. He had a couple starts where he struggled a little bit, but overall he's been pretty good. If you're looking at what they are doing as of late, St. Louis, by the way, St. Louis had to use just about everybody, all their quality arms, if you consider they have quality arms in the bullpen. They had to use them all yesterday. Riley O'Brien almost blew that game. He's kind of struggled over the last couple of weeks. He's been great, but the last 14 days is at 265 from the ratings over it on Fangraphs at the roster resource page. So he's struggling a little bit, but they had to use Romero. They had to use Serrano and Stanek. So they hadn't been used before that. So they'll all be available, but it is their second of a back-to-back that they will have to pitch in. I mentioned Leahy. He's 111 the last 14 days. So he's been okay, but Dustin May is actually pitching. He's been their best pitcher the last couple of weeks, and he was pretty good yesterday. But I think the line is about right here. I will point out, for those who don't pay attention to a lot of daily moves, Jimmy Crooks was just brought up from the minors. He's a hard-hitting, lefty. He's a left-handed bat, and he's a big power bat, and they need that on this team because they really, other than Jordan Walker, they don't have a lot of power on this team. Gorman has not hit for the power that he's hit in the past, so that's important. And obviously, Pedro Pages has not been much of a hitter for them. In fact, they haven't had, none of their catchers have been very good hitters. So it would not surprise me if Jimmy Crooks is up for the rest of the season to see what he's got because, they're not playing to go to the playoffs. They want to see what they've got out of them. So I think St. Louis is going to be a better hitting team from here on out with that. With the Cubs are a team that's starting to heat up a little bit offensively. Bush and Ian Happ's been hot as hell. I already had 2 more home runs yesterday. He's been on a really nice run. That's a good thing because on the season he was disappointing before that. But overall, I like the way the Cubs are hitting. I like the way it sets up for them. The total on this game, as I said, was 8 here. If I play anything, I may play the over a little bit. I don't know if Brown's going to go more than 5 innings. And the bullpen has been a little disappointing. And their closer hasn't been that great lately. So somewhat lean to the over. It's 8, 8 minus 110 either way, basically right now. That's my slight lean in this one, but it should be a good game to watch.
Listen, don't tell the tarps off crew that they're not going to the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start today, the Cardinals actually occupy the final wild card spot in the National League. Obviously, Tokyo Brandon, a lot of season still left to go. John in Phoenix says 7 a.m. You're late. No, we start an hour later on the weekends. The weekend show always goes at 10 a.m. in hopes that you guys hang around and check out Last Call, which goes at 11 a.m. Eastern right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. But it also means, Tokyo Brandon, you have to stay up an extra hour late. So how late is it? How late does this start for you? And then talk to us about Cardinals Cubs here.
Yeah, it gives Bryan an extra hour of sleep. But I have to start the show at 11 p.m. on Saturday night. So that's what time it is here in Japan. I'm gonna go to sleep after the show. Sorry about my voice. I'm still a little under the weather, but I put my outs projections and pitcher projections on my Twitter X, but Ben Brown doesn't have enough innings to qualify for that. So what I did is I matched the two teams together here, really closely matched teams. Cubs have a slight advantage in the hitting, and the bullpens are almost neck and neck. Starting pitcher, I don't have enough data on Leahy to make a good projection. So what I did is I took a look at Ben Brown's recent starts, and every time he goes over 4 innings, he gets at least 6 strikeouts, although the sample size is only 2. But his strikeout prop is 4.5. Seems a little low to me, and I'm thinking about shooting that out right now. I think that would be a good one. Like Bryan said, we don't know if he's going to go past 5 innings, but he went 5 and then he went 6. So it seems like the Cubs are trying to kind of foster him into a starting spot there. He does have good numbers, but a lot of those numbers were racked up when he was only pitching 1 and 2 innings at the beginning of the season. So he's got reliever type numbers, but they are working him into the starting rotation. It seems like they're kind of grooming him for that. So yeah, I think his strikeout prop over 4.5 seems a little light to me. That's how I would go. And I'm actually might just fire this out while you're talking, Adam.
Can't disagree with that. I love Ben Brown. I think the goal is to go as long as he can go. I know he had to be built up a tiny bit from being a reliever, but 5 innings, 2 starts ago, 6 innings the last time out. Guy has tremendous stuff. This stuff is still played as a starter. That's the thing you always worry about with a reliever. Can they get the third time through the order and still be as effective? But Brown's a 3-pitch guy. I think that's was always the concern is really he's a 2-pitch guy, but he's got a sinking fastball, a 4-seamer, and a curveball. I think for a while he was looked at as fastball curveball, and it's tough as a 2-pitch pitcher to get 3 times through the order against a big league lineup. I think that was the knock on him earlier in his career, but he's, you look at the profile, we Bryan and I will reference Baseball Savant a lot. I love the website. I think it gives you a great picture as to an overall sort of high level view of a pitcher, but also where the potential sort of pitfalls are. He doesn't really have any, at least not when you look at that page right now. A little bit of, hard hit, which is probably guys are probably able to guess his fastballs. He doesn't have, if it's not a curveball, it's probably going to come in with some velocity. So maybe he gives up some hard hit, but TB, he's getting great swing and miss. He strikes guys out. I'm with you. I think that strikeout prop is low. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get to at least 5 strikeouts here. So yeah, I kind of like the Cubs. Didn't really like the price, but I like Ben Brown a lot. So I can't disagree with you, Tokyo Brandon. Go ahead, Bryan.
Yeah, I've got 2 sets of projections. One of them is 4.5 strikeouts. One of them is 5. So slight lean that way also.
All right, yeah, and I still like this Cubs team. I'm defaulting to leaning toward the Cubs. If the price was a little bit better, I would be all over the Cubs here. I still think they're you talk about the standings, and like Bryan alluded to, the Cardinals probably aren't playing for a playoff spot this year. like these two are right neck and neck in the standings. To me, the Cubs are still the far superior of these two teams. And I think that'll play out over the course of the next 100 games. So who knows? Maybe that price is fair. But yeah, I would lean toward the Cubs. Buddy Israel says, love the weekend grind. Yeah, we're here on Saturdays. It's an hour later just to keep the programming nice and tight. But we're here to talk the Saturday slate. And TV, I'm going back to you. If I don't bring this game up right now, the chat is going to riot. Someone in there's like, it's the third time we've asked for the White Sox. So we're heading over to we're heading from the north side to the south side here. We had some great finishes in Major League Baseball last night. Couple walk-offs, couple walk-off home runs, a big comeback in the ninth inning for the Rockies. One of those walk-off homers, TV, was Miguel Vargas and the Chicago White Sox, who came from behind to beat the Tigers, who we referenced earlier in the week, don't have a closer anymore because Kenley Jansen managed to get hurt. Looks like it ended up costing him there. Now you've got White Sox Tigers again this afternoon. How are you seeing White Sox Tigers?
So I'm going to make this my parlay leg. I like the White Sox on the money line because on my numbers, I have them better than the Tigers at every category here. And when I look at Framber Valdez's history against these White Sox, you know, the books are pricing him like he's Nolan Ryan or something, but he's not. And the average for these White Sox batters against him is 377 in 53 at bats with a 901 OPS. So these batters have a history of getting to him. I think the White Sox have a seriously good chance of winning this game, and they won yesterday. So I don't see why they wouldn't win today. They're the better team. They're better bullpen, better hitting, and better starter, in my opinion. K is a little bit unproven, admittedly, but the eye test, he beats Valdez in my eyes. So the White Sox are nothing to me.
TV,
My parlay plus 108.
I'm with you, TV. They're the better team, and you're going to hear people say Murakami's headed to the IL. We got to that's, doesn't matter. You know why? Because Jacob Gonzalez, who's probably going to come up and take his spot, might as well be Mickey Mantle right now. The guy, he's on a tear at AAA like I've not seen. He's just crushing the ball, hitting everything. I was talking to White Sox fans earlier in the week, and it's like they've wanted to have this guy up for a week now, but it's like, who do you take out of the lineup? Well, here you go. He's going to have his time. I mean, Bryan, I don't think the White Sox wanted Murakami to be out of the lineup, but it's going to be exciting to see Jacob Gonzalez get his chance.
Yeah, I agree. It's not going to be as much of a drop off. And the White Sox have a 119 WRC plus versus lefties. We got both lefties here, Valdez and K. Valdez is about a 110, 115 favorite right now with a total of 7.5. Yeah, I agree. I prefer the White Sox here. You had mentioned the injury to the closer for Detroit, and they had to use Finnegan last night. And he blew another save. I believe he's been used either 5 or 6 times as a closer, and he only has 1 save, I believe, on the season off the top of my head. He's blown a lot of saves. Drew Anderson's a guy that I kind of like. He along with Finnegan, pitched 2 of the last 3 days. And for Anderson, 45 pitches out of those 2 days. So I don't know if we'll see him there, which means we go farther down the Detroit pitching staff. And they did bring back Bo Brisky, who at one point a couple of years ago, I kind of liked him, but he's never really panned out as well as I thought. And Detroit's got some bats coming back. Gleyber Torres and Carpenter should be back within the next week or so. So that'll help them right now. But yeah, this is a team. Cole Keith and McConaughey are hitting pretty well, but other than that, the rest of the team has struggled. So yeah, I kind of like the White Sox here. And if you take a look at what the White Sox have, let me get a quick look at their roster resource page right here. They continue to hit very well. The top 3 guys in the lineup are over the last 7 days, 68th, 56th, to 34th. And Murakami's the guy with the 56. He won't be there, but they've got, like you said, a quality bat coming in. Of course, he's a young guy. We don't know how he's going to go. We've seen so many 4A guys 4A guys are there guys that are too good for AAA and not good enough for the pros. We'll see how this works out. But I've heard a lot of good things from this player, so I think they're in pretty good shape here. From a bullpen shape, yeah, they're also in pretty good shape. Dominguez pitched 10 pitches yesterday, but he hadn't pitched in the previous 3 days. Grant Taylor's only pitched 1 out of the last 4 days, so they're in better shape here. And I like the White Sox. I was a little bit surprised by the line. I thought the White Sox should be favored here, and they're, you could get them. The best line out there is plus 105, but the worst you'll do is lay 105 or whatever for the White Sox. So yeah, basically a pick-em game. I prefer them. They're a team that's finding ways to win. Detroit's finding ways to lose, and until that turns around, I think we got the right side in this early game with the White Sox.
I agree with what TB said. Like the White Sox are just clearly the better of these two teams, and the fact that they really haven't been priced like that in this series tells me that the priors are still too heavily weighted with Detroit. Like if you have two eyeballs that function and you've watched these two teams play all year, like I don't know where you're coming up with the Tigers being the better of these two teams, which is kind of what it's suggesting with this number. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe the Murakami injury is too overpriced into the line. But like Jacob Gonzalez, listen, yeah, you never know what's going to happen. The dude was a first rounder, I think 15th overall pick out of Ole Miss. When I tell you that he has been knocking the cover off the ball, I mean, for a week, this guy, every hit is like a 110 exit velo. It's a home run. I mean, he has just been on a tear in the minors. OPS is over 1,000. I'd be so excited to just slot him in and say, all right, like, let's roll right now. And he did get pulled out of Charlotte's game last night, which tells me he's probably in the lineup today. So that's, I think, again, the Murakami news, yeah, you're going to be without him for a week, but like, how excited are you if you're the White Sox? How much juice do you have if you're the Sox? You're wearing the Bulls jerseys, Bryan. You're hitting a walk-off. Vargas was all fired up about the walk-off, and then you get to come out and play a day game today. I'm with you, TB. I like the White Sox there too.
Let me just throw in a quick comment. I think the line is what it is because bookmakers are valuing starting pitching too much. And I think they feel Valdez is a stronger starter than K, but I think they're wrong on that as well. That's just my opinion.
I've been higher on the market than Anthony K. I've been higher on Anthony K than the market all year too as well. Go ahead, Bryan.
2 things. Number one, Valdez is the reason why they've been getting money. He's been a good pitcher in his lifetime. Not the greatest guy in the world, but also, and this one goes out to Tokyo Brandon. There's one of my favorite bands over the years is April Wine, and they had a play on words song called "If You See K." It was talking about a girl named K. If you see K in this game is the White Sox. If you see K, bet them.
Yeah,
just between you and me. Actually, Bryan, you went to a concert and sent me a video.
I just saw them up in Toronto with Triumph. Yeah,
yeah.
Look at this shit coming in with the sun coming in.
Bryan,
what are you seeing? 6 a.m. and not 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I guess.
What are you seeing for a number on? What are you seeing for a number on the White Sox?
The White Sox basically a plus 100 or so, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you shop around, you can probably still get a 105. We'll call it even money. Yeah. We'll call it even money for the parlay. I think even money or better.
Outside Bryan's window.
Yeah. I think even money or better, you're probably good there. For like, it's still a good bet on the White Sox. Like down to pick is just fine.
For the first time,
all right, let's go to
Bryan.
So, well, I mean, I could just cover the whole screen with text, and then you'd be good.
Nobody wants to see this face anyway.
Yeah. And they couldn't see me. I'm the Scott Baio of WagerTalk.
Manzi's back in with the donation, so we appreciate you. It wasn't lucky yesterday, though. Although it kind of was. I think the Giants, he liked the first 5 yesterday. So I think Giants' first 5 did get there. It was the full game that ended up getting dicey at the end. Crazy 9th inning that the Rockies come and I believe they flip a 6-3 lead into an 8-6 walk-off win or 8-6 win. So back to that series, back to a series that we touched on very briefly at the end of the show yesterday. And I'll go to Bryan first because someone else asked us for run lines yesterday. and the Diamondbacks was the team that you saw value in, which actually I believe I did go to bed eventually. I was annoyed, to say the least, after the Orioles. And then I went to the bed before the end of the D-backs Mariners game. That game went into extra innings as well, did it not?
Yeah, they were down by 1 going into the 9th, and then went to extra innings, and they still lost by 1. They lost on the bottom of the 10th. So yeah, that one worked out well. Colorado, if you're looking for the run line, we talked a little bit about that yesterday. So that worked out well. It's Hauser against Feltner today, and we're looking at basically a 115 for San Francisco. Total of 11.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. We are.
Yes.
I messed up. No, we're talking about Diamondbacks Mariners. That's my bad. Manzi was the one that brought up the Giants yesterday, and his question is he likes the Mariners and Woo at home. I should have done a better job teeing that up. So let's go D-backs Mariners, which that was what I was asking you. That one went, I believe, into extra innings and was another walk-off result.
Yeah. We got Nelson, the lefty, going against Woo at home. He's the righty. Woo is about a 140 favorite with a total of 7 to the under. I kind of like Arizona here. If you take a look at what Seattle has done versus lefties on the season, their WRC plus is 81 compared to 119 against righties. So they haven't hit lefties well. We talk about this being a pitcher's ballpark. Nelson's a guy I like, and we're getting a total of 7 here with, and you could catch upwards of, 130. I see a 130 out there right now at Circa here in Vegas, but overall you can get 125s coming back on Arizona. And I just don't trust Seattle at this point. They blew it last night. Their closers had a really tough time. Munoz came into the season as like one of those lockdown guys. There's only like 4 or 5 lockdown guys in Major League Baseball. He has not been locked down at all this year. And he pitched yesterday, struggled again. And Seattle's bullpen eventually will come around. I like a lot of their arms in the bullpen, but they really haven't pitched that well this year. And Arizona's a team, their bullpen's been a little bit surprising. I love Bryan Woo, but I don't want to lay this number with Seattle. To me, it's Arizona is the dog or better. They haven't hit lefties all season long, and I'm not so sure they're going to get to Nelson. So maybe if you're looking at a team total right now, Seattle's at 3.5 even. Maybe play the under Seattle's 3.5, something to that effect, which is really low considering you've got a team that's playing at home. But I don't think they're going to score much against Arizona in this game. So I'm leaning with Arizona in this contest.
TB, I had a couple client plays on the Mariners earlier this week that cashed. And I said in my write-ups, I said, we got to take our shot now because the second this team wins a game or two, the value will be gone again. Just the way the market has priced them all year as this top option. I had them as a top option in the American League. You go back to Monday after they were at, you go back to Monday after they lost back-to-back games against the Royals, and they were, you could play them. They were like minus 110, nice playable price. They win that game, and now they've won 3 straight. And what do you know? At least per my numbers, the value is now gone. I too think they're asking you to overpay a bit here for the Mariners. How are you seeing that? And are your numbers agreeing or disagreeing with that?
So WagerTalk is on the precipice of having 250,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. So hit the like and subscribe button. That's how you can support us for free. And also, if you are paid clients or would like to be paid clients, we have a double play special. You can take 2 of the 3 of us. 2 of us just won a 5% play. And all of us are on a pretty good streak right now. So 2 of us for 3 days, huge discount, or as the president of the United States would say, huge discount. So grab it, double play. So let's get to this play right here. I kind of agree with Bryan a lot on a lot of what he said. And this goes back to the odds makers kind of putting a little too much focus and falling in love with the starting pitcher a little too much. I think this line is odd because I have the Diamondbacks ranked number 3 in hitting in MLB right now. They're crushing it. But Seattle's hitting quite well too. I got them at 10. Bullpen's fairly even. The Diamondbacks are lagging a little bit, but all of this leads me to believe I think Arizona has a pretty good chance of winning this game. I know I like Wu. I think he's great, but this looks to me like it's gonna be a one of those tight games, like a 2-2 kind of game at the end, and the team with the better lineup could squeak one in at the end. That's what it looks like to me. So I think there's more value taking Arizona in this game.
Yeah, Seattle had to use 98 pitches from the bullpen last night.
Yeah, and their bullpen is taxed.
Yeah, so listen, price wise, no question. Values on the Diamondbacks on the money line. The books now, the Mariners have won 4 straight games, and the market has shifted considerably. I think I'm off about 20 cents here. Now, I don't know if it's tough. It's a tough one for me because I've been I was pro Mariners to have this run. I said that they were going to start sort of racking up wins and winning games. So it puts me in a tough spot because I still like the Mariners as a team. I like where they're heading, but I'm not going to take a number that's 20% or 20 cents, in my opinion, 25 cents off market. I will throw another angle out here right now. I mean, this total looks very, very low. I know it's Seattle. I know it's a pitcher's park, but I'm seeing a 7 flat even money. I'm seeing, I mean, that almost implies that you could get 6.5 for some juice some places. Like Bryan said, like, first of all, 2 very good offensive teams. Second of all, the Mariners crush right-handed pitching. And then the third piece is the piece that Bryan brought up, where the Mariners totally they've used up a ton of their bullpen. So you mean to tell me that, like, if this game were to get to 3-3 and you're free rolling, right? If it gets to 3-3, you're free rolling on a 7. You've already won if you have 6.5. You have the Mariners and their ability to hit right-handed pitching, top WRC plus in the league against right-handed pitching, and then you have the Diamondbacks, who are probably going to get some hacks against the Mariners bullpen, which they had success against last night. And then you just have, by accident, the ball might go over the fence at some point. Kind of feels like this is going to get to 7 runs. So I like the over here.
Actually, money's coming in on that under, and you can get right now, you can get even money on the 7, or you can lay over 6.5 at -120 at one spot I see out there. So yeah, let it continue to go down, and then we can hit this because somebody's out there that likes this under.
I project this at 7.6 runs on this game. So the fact that you could an over 6.5 -120, that is like that's a pretty big edge there, in my opinion. So, I mean, you would need if Bryan Wu comes out, shoves 7 innings of 1-run ball, yeah, maybe it doesn't hit. But I think if I had to bet this game, it would absolutely be the over. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's head back to the chat. I'm going to grab one here, making sure that I didn't miss anything starred. Yeah, I'll listen, guys. If you're going to do a double play today, these 2 boys both hit their 5%ers yesterday. I had a 6-1 week going, and it kind of blew up in my face yesterday. It was one of those days for me where I had all 3 plays. So I did 2 minor league plays. I had a lead or was trending in the right direction in all 3, had leads in every single one, and all 3 of them lost. So, do what you will with that information. I do have a 4% play in that goes later tonight, which I love. But I had 3 plays that I look like, I'm like, man, I might go 3-0 here. Feeling it. I'm feeling good. And all of a sudden the Orioles are down 6-5. And I'm like, oh, these don't look as good either, and sure enough, they go 0-3. So that, sometimes that happens. But Bryan hits his 5%er last night with the Padres. TB hits his 5%er with the Rays. And you can pair them together on the double play package and get them at a very discounted rate to see if they can keep it going again today.
Well, Adam's no slouch either, guys. Take 2 of us, or if you only like one of us, there's a triple play. You can get 3 days for 30% off one capper, anyone at WagerTalk. So lots of deals going on. And if you like football, I don't do football. And there's a from now to the end of the year deal for guys who do football. So lots of stuff available.
Yep. That's a great point, TB. But they're only up. So the specials you see on the site, that nice long-term deal that's like the full year and the $100 off the 30 days, I believe, are today and tomorrow only. Once the calendar flips to June, those are done. So yeah, you've got the weekend to take advantage of those. Mike S., let's go to this game. I didn't really want to talk about it, but I've complained about it multiple times on the show, so we might as well talk about it. He is saying run it back with the O's, kind of like them today again. I'll go to Bryan first. I don't know. That yesterday set up so good for the Orioles to win, and my handicap pretty much was exactly as I said it would go. You're going to have an opener. You were going to have probably they were probably going to go to Voth in bulk. They did. He wasn't very good. And then you were going to get to the end of the game, and they weren't going to have Varland. They weren't going to have Hoffman, who actually might be hurt at this point. I saw he may have got hit with like a ball. I thought they said on the broadcast last night that he might be injured. So that's something to keep an eye on today. But like basically, if you're the Orioles, okay, and I feel like I was an Oriole last night, so I can tell you exactly how this feels. You have a 5-0 lead. The Blue Jays have none of their best relievers. And you basically you're in the 7th inning. You need 9 outs. To lose that game 6-5, and then you get your crack in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's Braden Fisher. It's not Louis Varland, who has been unhittable. To like lose that game is just very, very crushing, in my opinion. So, Mike, I'm not going to run it back with the O's today, especially now. And now I'll actually let someone else speak. I'm done. I'm not talking about it anymore. So we're going to let Bryan go TV, and then we're going to put it to bed. No, I'm not going to come back with the Orioles today. I actually think the Blue Jays have a nice pitching advantage now, and now they've got some momentum. So, Bryan, Blue Jays, Orioles to you.
I will say I follow a couple sites that give you, based on the way the game played out, the deserve to win meter. And baseball is a coin flip. A lot of these games are just coin flips. You could probably say every day 20 to 30% of these games are coin flips, and that's what it was. Both of them had Baltimore being the clearly better team on yesterday's card. They just didn't get there. That happens. It's sports betting. If you don't know that, you shouldn't be gambling. It happens. I will say, though, that I think I will play it back. At least I will give it a consideration for the Orioles here. You got, Savage on the mound today for Toronto. He's about a 120 to a 130 favorite with a total of 7.5. Young is out there. The only time Young has really struggled was the time I think you gave him some props, Trig, and then other than that, he's looked pretty good. He hasn't been that bad. So, but you take a look at Toronto, the bullpen. Yes, yesterday Varland didn't pitch, Hoffman didn't pitch, and Rogers didn't pitch. Well, that's because they pitched the 2 games before that. You take a look at the Toronto bullpen. Out of their best 5 guys have all pitched 2 of the last 3 days, and Mako, I believe they used him extended yesterday. He threw 30 pitches. So you're not going to get the best out of the Blue Jays bullpen today. Savage has been terrific so far, although he got a little bit. I think it was last time out he didn't pitch quite as well. But right now, I talked about Vlad Guerrero. Still not hitting for power, but I believe, what did he have? 4 hits was he yesterday, the day before? He's coming around a little bit, but I got no problem with the Toronto hitting. I just don't like their bullpen in this one. And Baltimore, if you take a look at what they have done, Young is listed as the last 14 days 69th best pitcher. They're actually got it, other than Trevor Rogers, who was good for 4 innings yesterday. Their starting pitching has been pretty good. Boz has been terrific the last couple of weeks. I don't know what he's done, some sort of change, but Bradish has been coming around. So from a bullpen standpoint, Garcia threw 13 pitches yesterday. He's their best arm in the bullpen, but he hadn't pitched since last Monday, so he'll be available. Nunez pitched 2 of the last 3 days. Cano came back from injury, didn't look good yesterday, so it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't pitch at all in this one. But we've got some other guys that have had good histories, but overall their bullpen hasn't been great either. But Baltimore's starting to hit. You look at all the way down the lineup here for Baltimore. 1 through 9 on is what expected to be in the lineup today. Their worst hitter the last week is 132, Andy Rushman. 132 is the worst hitter out of 9. So Baltimore is knocking the hell out of the ball right now. And you're catching them at home as an underdog off a game in which I thought they were the better team. the people who break down the games thought they were the better team, and you're getting them at plus money. Yeah, I'm considering Baltimore today. I think this might be a good spot to bounce back from or with them.
TV, get in here. Blue Jays, Orioles to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the opposite side of Bryan here because I like Trey Savage a lot. I got him ranked number 7 out of every starter in current form. And I like his control and command. He's only walking his walk rate 29% of the strikeouts he's getting. So that's really good. Generally 30 to 40 is average. And I'm not a fan of Young. I don't like what I see. He's walking too many people. Bullpen, I have Toronto's bullpen ranked a little higher. So Bryan did bring up the point that Baltimore's hitting is coming on. I agree with him on that. And the one worry about taking Toronto in this for me would be the hitting. They're lacking a little. They did come back yesterday, but my numbers are not based on yesterday. If you're just betting on what happened yesterday, you're going to lose a lot of money. You got to look at the big picture. And these Toronto bats have been a little flaccid lately. So that's my worry about taking them here, but I don't think I would take Baltimore. And by the way, guys, we don't get paid to do this show. So if you want to reward us, hit the like button and grab a double play package.
Yeah, we pay ourselves to do this show by kicking around great info and making better bets. But yes, we don't. We show up and we only get compensated if you buy the picks or donate to the show. So we very much appreciate that. TV, quick question before we move on. Did you do any outs props or outs numbers or anything like that today?
Yes, they're actually up on my Twitter X, Tokyo_Brandon. I put them out about an hour before the show. I got them all ranked and rated. Outs projections, yes, they are.
What are you projecting Trey Savage at today for outs? I'm curious.
Trey Savage, let me find him. I've got him projected 5 2/3 innings, 17 outs.
So this is my
projection is. Yeah.
So this is interesting. I said I wasn't going to talk anymore, but I'm going to. It is what it is. You can't take me at face value when I say that, but I want to say this before moving on. Trey Savage is right now over 17.5 plus 105 is his outs props. You may be able to find a 16.5 juiced up. So TV's right on the money with his projection for that. But Schneider, the Blue Jays manager, made a comment after the game against the Marlins, where he was really hoping for length out of pitchers this weekend. They have not had someone go more than 5 innings as a starter since Savage's last start, where he went 6 2/3. I think they're going to ask him for at least 6 today, because I just think he made that comment. They needed bullpen the last 2 days because last night they only got 5 out of their opener Voth combo, I think, only produced about 5 innings. I know they've got the top bullpen guys. I think if Savage has it going, I think they're going to let him go. So I like the outs over 17.5, especially if it's plus money. I think he's going to pitch at least 6 innings here.
Adam brings up a great point. You can get a lot of good betting information from local beat writers and interviews, stuff like that, especially in NFL betting. It comes in very handy, but in baseball too. So the manager might have a tendency to leave Savage in because of what he said and because the other starters are not going deep. So he needs to save his bullpen, and Savage is capable of doing it. So in over outs, you could, that's good information. That's good stuff. That's why we're doing it. I mean,
he straight up said that. I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was after the win on Thursday, when they used like every high leverage reliever to win 2-1. That he was really hoping for length out of his starters this weekend. So do what you will with that.
Little rest. It's a marathon, and these guys don't rest until the All-Star break. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm having guys. I'm having
when
some.
You get a guy go 8 innings. It's like a gift from God,
Yeah, I am at, for whatever reason, I got to figure this. I'm at my sister's house. It's my 2-year-old nephew's birthday, so we are very little wiggle room. The party starts at 11 a.m. So I have to do the show from here. I cannot figure out, their internet is fine here. I cannot figure out why it doesn't like my camera, why the camera's like jumbled up a little bit. But It's just I tested it. The upload speed, download speed was good, but I'm struggling right now. So you'll just have to deal with it. We'll be back to normal on Monday. I didn't want to just not do the show. I wanted to still come and do the show. So I will throw this to Bryan. We still need a parlay leg from you, and I have one in mind as well. So we'll let you go first. Throw a game out there for the parlay.
Okay. First of all, I just want to correct you. You misspoke. You said the only way you get paid is by betting and selling picks, and you also said the donations. The donations go to charity. We do not see the donations.
Yes, that's right.
We don't want to see the donations. So we want to support charities. So
that's not true.
It's just misspoke. TB misspoke one time and got suspended for 2 weeks. So I want to make sure that we get everything correct here. There's a few games I'm interested in. I like today's card. I'm on a 7-1 run. Had that 5% winner yesterday. A lot of people didn't like it because the starter. But if we were close going into the bullpens, obviously San Diego's bullpen's better. And I'm going to kind of touch on that on my bet here. I'm going to take a look at the San Diego Washington. I'll go back to it today. We got King going against Griffin. Griffin's the lefty. King's the righty. Right now, San Diego's about a 120 favorite with a total of 7.5. A 7.5 in Washington. I don't. King is good. King is a good pitcher, no doubt about it. Is he an ace? No, he's probably a number 2 pitcher. Griffin's been good. Is he an ace? No. If he is on any other team, he's probably a number 3 or a number 4 pitcher. Why is this total in this game only 7.5? We're playing in Washington. Yes, the wind is blowing in at like 6 miles an hour. Big deal. Unless it gets to like 15 or 20 miles an hour, it's not going to have much effect. San Diego, yesterday, they had to bring in their closer in the 8th inning because Adams put 2 people on. So the closer had to throw, the closer, which is the best closer in baseball, and Miller, had to throw 30 pitches yesterday. He will not be there today. San Diego's entire bullpen had to pitch a little bit yesterday because Washington was hitting them. That's what Washington does. Washington is a good hitting team. So there's 2 different ways to look at this. Do you play the Washington team total over, which is sitting at 3.5, and you get plus money on the over, which is not a bad bet? Or do you just play the game over 7.5? And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take the over 7.5 at minus 110. I talked about San Diego, and if you bought my play yesterday, you can get the write-up. In fact, one of the best things about WagerTalk is if you go to our last 20 picks, you can read our analysis. And what I talked about was the pitching staffs that San Diego has had to face in the last 3 weeks. Other than the Sacramento A's, they had faced the best starting pitching staffs in baseball. The Phillies, the Brewers, the Dodgers. Now they're playing Washington's starting pitching staff, which is why I like their scoring yesterday. They scored a lot of runs. I think we see it again today. I do like Foster Griffin. I do like Michael King, but I do not like 7.5. This line should be at least 8.5. I'd be interested to see what Trigg has made for this total in this game. I'm going to play the over 7.5 as my free play.
Well, I'm going to let TB talk about it first, and while he's doing that, I will get my projection up. So TB, Padres, Nats, to you.
Yeah, I sent a little Bacardi to your nephew's party, so I hope the kids enjoy it. The
2-year-old will be teething on it.
The 2-year-old. Yeah, they got special bottles for that, So anyways, I kind of agree with Bryan. I know why the line makers made this that low, though, because they think you need 2 teams to contribute to the total, and they think King is a stud, and they don't think Washington's going to score. So we've known this all season, though. Washington is like a printing money machine. They're like printing money for the first 5 team total over 1.5 all season long, even with stud pitchers on the mound. King's not that much of a stud. He's a good pitcher, though. I got both pitchers. Yeah. Ranked in the mid tier or lower upper tier, kind of. San Diego's bullpen is good, but San Diego's bats have been pretty dormant until yesterday. And Washington has a much better lineup, at least in current form. So, I'd agree with Bryan's analysis on that.
I'm at 8.1, so I definitely show some value to the over. 7.5 minus 110. It's the only way I would play the total. I still think the Nationals, despite the fact that they have knocked the cover off the ball all year, are somehow still undervalued. And it's almost like the books are like waiting for the other shoe to drop with this team. But I just think that they've made some changes with the coaching in that organization. I think they assigned one of the things that they said prior to the season was, we're going to really like take a look at like who's at which level in this league. So like something that the new management for the Nationals was critical of the last sort of guys that were there evaluating talent. They were like, you guys got some of the wrong guys at the big leagues and some of the wrong guys at AAA. And so they were really like, this year, they're like, we're going to put the big league roster is going to be the big league roster, and the AAA roster is going to be the AAA roster. And we're really not going to call guys up unless it's like an absolute necessity. And I think they kind of got it right. I think their assessment of like who's in the big league lineup has been correct. And these guys, maybe getting that vote of confidence, knowing that like one bad game wasn't going to bring Dylan Cruz back up, or one bad game wasn't going to, because that Rochester team right now is in first place in the International League, is loaded. There's a lot of guys that deserve an opportunity that are playing their tails off right now. And I just think that they've sort of given the lineup this vote of confidence, and it's working out. Abrams is having a great year. James Wood looks awesome. But even some of the other guys that maybe would have been the guys to be replaced are hitting, and it just looks like a confident bunch. So yeah, I'm with you on the over there. Minus 110 on that, right, Brian?
Yep.
All right. Chuck, no, those diplomas are not mine. Those are my brother-in-law's. I don't have that many diplomas. He's a doctor. I have one diploma. It's from Siena. Oh. It's from Siena College. So just one diploma for me. I didn't go to college for this either, but this is all I did while I was at college. So
I don't know anybody who went to college and is working in the same field.
Yeah.
I studied architecture.
Yeah, I didn't go to school for this, but this is what I did for 4 years in my dorm with my friends. So that's kind of, I didn't study much else. So here we are.
I flunked out of architecture school, so that was fun.
And just one quick comment on the last game, and then I'll lock in my leg of the parlay, and we'll hit one more game. I kind of lean the Nats. I didn't really give a side opinion there, but I do think that there's some value on them as an underdog. It was one of the ones I was considering for the parlay, but in the interest of not using the same game, and we need to hit a sixth and final game for the show, I'm going to go to, just wanted to check a price. That one moved a little bit. Now I'm going to use it anyway. I'm going to go to the Reds-Braves game. I was very hopeful that the Braves would take some money and knock that Reds plus 1.5 down to like minus 125 or minus 130. Because that's how I wanted to. That's how I wanted to play the game. So I'm going to use Reds plus 1.5 in the parlay. Brian, how what's that going to cost me at this point? Because I see the Reds taking money.
For you, I got special deal.
For you,
just for you.
For you, my friend.
Let's go with plus 1.5. I see anywhere from 35 to 55, but most of them are in about the 140 range.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was hopeful that the Braves, being as though it's Singer on the mound for the Reds, the Braves are the Braves. They won big last night. Tokyo Brandon was all over it. Braves win big again. I thought maybe the Braves would take some money here and get that Reds plus 1.5 down to like minus 125, minus 130. At which point I probably would have jumped in. A little bit expensive for me as a straight bet, but as a parlay leg, I think it's fine. And it really just goes back to the point that I've been kind of making for a couple of weeks. I'm just going to sell the Braves right now. They're 20 games over 500. Yes, they're a good team, but right now, like the where they're being priced in on a day-to-day basis, in my opinion, is too high. I didn't disagree with you last night, no, TB. I thought the handicap made sense for the Braves last night. Here, listen, Martin Perez has been good. Should he be spotting the Reds a run? I don't really think so. So this to me was just like, I still think the Reds have some redeeming qualities as a team. I know that they, they weren't hitting for stretches this year, and they were near the bottom of the league in WRC plus. But I see them doing a lot of good things as a team. They're winning more games than they lose. And for me, Bryan, and I'll let you go, and then I'll let TB sort of follow it up. I just felt like getting a run and a half here at a cheap price was something that I was interested in. Price isn't going to be cheap enough for me to make this a client play, but for the parlay, I think it's good enough. So I lean Reds here. I actually think they win this game, but I'll take the +1.5.
The Reds hit lefties very well, but they also strike out a lot. If you like Atlanta, I wouldn't be. I'd play the Atlanta pitcher strikeouts over. I think he's going to have some success. They seem to be all or nothing when they face lefties, home runs or strikeouts. And the Braves are going to score enough runs against Singer, so the starter will be in the game longer. So it's not like there's going to be a lot of runs in this game. Let's put it that way. So anytime there's going to be more runs in the game, they're more likely to keep the starter in, and that gives you more of a chance to get strikeouts. So if you like it on a different way to play it, maybe over on the strikeouts for the starter.
TB, will let you close this one down. I know you liked the Braves yesterday. How are you seeing Braves Reds?
Just very quickly, I put my pitcher matchups rankings on my Twitter X, Tokyo Underbar Brandon, as well as outs projections are up as well. And on the pitcher rankings, Martin Perez is dead last. So these Reds have clubbed him pretty hard in the past. And not only that, but the Reds rank higher in hitting than the Braves in current form, despite yesterday's loss. It doesn't mean they're a better team, but the Braves do have the better bullpen in current form. So I'm, conflicting on a side, but I certainly would agree with the total there because I think the Reds are going to score quite a bunch of runs in today's game. And Atlanta is always a candidate to contribute to over totals, no matter who.
Yeah, TB, that's a really good point. Like, you can't convince me that a lineup where 7 through 9 is Yastrzemski, Mateo, and Tromp is like this like totally elite lineup. I think the Drake Baldwin injury really hurts them. I don't think they've really paid for it in their results yet. But I mean, the team is 39-19. That's crazy. Like running that lineup, no Drake Baldwin, that bottom three, they just can't keep just pounding teams the way they are, in my opinion. So I'm going to be looking for spots to play against them. This isn't the best spot in the world, in my opinion. I would have liked a better price, but you're taking a run. The Reds at home, national TV. This is the other Fox game, big Saturday night game. I kind of like the Reds. So Mark Lambert saying Reds +120. Sure, I think it's worth a flyer at that price. For the parlay, I'm going to go Reds run line +1.5. That brings us to the end of the show. We're going for 3 straight 3-teamers. So let's see if we can close out the week with a third straight 3-team parlay win. Tokyo Brandon is going White Sox on the money line. That's even money. Bryan is going Padres Nats over 7.5 -110. And then I will lower the odds of the parlay with my +1.5 -140 on the Reds. So one more time, that's White Sox money line, even money. Padres Nats over 7.5 -110. Reds +1.5 -140. It's your 3-teamer for today. That's your weekend show. Let's finish May strong. We got 2 days left to try to finish May strong here. And we will see you in June because, well, Monday's June 1st. So we'll see you in June, Monday morning for more Total Bases at 9 a.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend, everybody.